Hello and welcome back to Per My Last Email. Today, I just want to share with y'all some introspective examination that I've been doing inside of my own life. I don't know where it came from, but I just have been thinking a lot about my language and how I talk and just the things that I think and why do I think that way? Why do I respond that way? And what triggered it is I did an episode of my friend Crystal's podcast, the Red Lipstick Podcast, and I was sharing with her the PMP journey story that I shared on my own channel about how I applied to take the PMP. Well, I procrastinated for the longest time trying to finish my application, and it was such a long application. I procrastinated, and I was like, you know what? I'm about to just send it in. I sent it in, and they sent it back to me and told me your application has not been accepted. You can reapply if you want to, but I don't know what you're gonna do. And I took that as, well, maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe I need to find a different plan. Maybe this is just a sign from God that I need to try and do something else, right? But then Crystal told me that I should reach out to this PMP coach, and I worked with the PMP coach and I resubmitted my application and I got accepted that time. So does that mean that it was God's will and that it was meant to be? And it just made me think about why did I respond in that way in the first place? Why did I just change my mind? As soon as there was one problem, I was like, well, it is what it is, time to move on. That's crazy, right? And it made me think of this psychological concept known as locus of control. Locus of control is the way that you attribute your successes and failures. So a person with an external locus of control says that all of their failures and successes are attributed to luck or fate or circumstance. They believe that other people have control over them, and they just kind of passive, and they just accept what life has to give, and they just think, this is how it's supposed to be. This is fate. This is God. I can't really control it, so I'm just here living my life. I'm going with the flow. And even when they succeed, they attribute their successes to luck as well. They're like, well, I was just in the right place at the right time. It was just luck. Thank you, God, for blessing me, because it wasn't me. And people with an external locus of control, they can be anxious because they don't think that they have control over their lives, because fate and other unknown things do have, the unknown things have control. Whereas a person with an internal locus of control is like, well, I am the master of my fate. I make decisions that determine whether or not I'm going to be successful. It's not luck, it's not fate, it's me. It's all me. I control everything that's happening. When they are successful, they can, say, I did that, I made it happen. And when they're not successful, they're like, okay, well, I didn't do something right. What can I do to fix it for next time? So they own all of their successes, they own all of their failures, and they can pinpoint it down to what they have done or what they could have done better to fix it. It's interesting because people in their middle age, 40s, is usually the people who have the best internal locus of control. And studies have shown that people with an internal locus of control are more successful, more motivated, and have higher paying jobs than those with an external locus of control. So it's if I would have had an internal locus of control mindset when I first got rejected, I would have said, okay, I didn't get accepted this time. What could I do to better prepare for next time? Or what did I do wrong? Or how could I fix it? Versus just saying, it is what it is. I mean, I tried and it just didn't work out. So it's not the plan for me. And it just made me think, I always picture myself being an internal locus of control person, but I feel as of late, I'm becoming more of an external locus of control person, and I don't want to because I just really want to take back my life. The only tricky part about it is that I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe that God has a will for our lives. I believe that he can open doors that no man can open. He can shut doors that no man can shut. And so with that mindset, it's okay, well, God does have a plan, and some things are just not meant to be because God didn't want it to happen. But then again, it's God does so much, but we have to do so much too. And if God is giving his 50%, did we meet him halfway? With my PMP application, maybe it wasn't his plan for me to give my application sent in and accepted the first time, but I just didn't say the right words. I didn't have the right verbiage. I didn't try hard enough. I didn't do the right things. And so that's me. And so God is like, I did my part, but you didn't do your part. And because you didn't give your 100%, then you say that it's not meant to be. But like, it is meant to be. I'm like equal on both sides, because I want to say like God is going to do whatever he wants to do and I can't control it. Like his destiny for me is his destiny for me. And I mean, he's going to do what he wants to do. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, I am the master of my own fate. I make my own decisions and I make things happen for myself. And if somebody tells me no, I'm going to keep trying again until I get a yes. So is that God? If I go to somebody and I ask for something and they tell me no, is that God's will? Or is that God saying you need to keep asking till you get a yes? You know what I'm saying? So it's a very delicate balance between what is God's will and how much do you need to get into the front seat and steer the boat yourself. I think that the more that I transition into adulthood, I have to take more of a proactive approach, because as a child, like you really don't have a say. Like you really don't really have an opinion. Like everything's pretty much decided for you, and you know, you go to school, you got to have certain stuff done, and you don't really make a lot of decisions. And so I think that as I transition from childhood into adulthood, I'm learning that I really have the opportunity to have so much control over my life. I have to make every single decision in my life by myself. That's all up to me. And it's easy to just kind of like fade to the background and be like, well, you know, it is what it is. I'm going with the flow. I'm just going wherever life takes me. And that's cool. But that also removes you from taking responsibility for what happens in your life. Because if you're like, well, I didn't have a decision in how this is going to play out, I'm just going with it. If something goes wrong, then you have no responsibility. So you can say, well, I didn't choose that. I didn't pick that. I was just here. And the thing about that is, if you do just go with what life takes you and you don't make any decisions, when you end up somewhere that you don't want to be, you can't say nothing because you didn't make any decisions to get there. And I feel like the past, and this is a chair that's squeaking. But anyway, just like the past few weeks, man, I have been going through I've been talking to myself, I've been thinking to myself and realizing like the place that I'm in now is like very difficult. And am I here because I have not taken responsibility for enough of my actions? Have I just been going with it, doing what everybody else does and not really taking control? Am I just kind of sitting in the backseat and letting life happen to me? And now I'm unhappy because I'm just letting life happen. I'm not making any decisions. I'm not being proactive. And I really think that I have been in the backseat chilling. And I have been letting life happen to me, and I have not made enough decisions. Like even when it's time to eat, it's like, what do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? I don't care. Then we eating Taco Bell, and I really didn't want Taco Bell. I mean, it's fine. I guess if you wanted Taco Bell, we could eat Taco Bell. But I mean, I really didn't want Taco Bell. But I'll eat it. It's fine. But I really didn't want Taco Bell, if we're being honest. I'm talking about me. I'm letting all these external things dictate my life. If I don't want Taco Bell, like just say you don't want Taco Bell. Like take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for your life, Bria. What are you doing? I think that there is a life out there, and there are certain things that I cannot control. I can't control whether or not somebody's gonna hit me on the highway, but I can control whether or not I'm being vigilant. I can't control if, I don't know, it's gonna be a snowstorm tomorrow, but I can control if I have the right materials to prepare, if I need to get my car out of the snow. So it's like for every fate, circumstance, God thing that's like uncontrollable, there's a whole other set of things that are controllable that I have to be responsible for. And it's a lot. As an adult, you have to make a lot of decisions. Every decision. You have to decide every single thing. And man, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that. And so I think I'm going to challenge myself to have more of an internal locus of control and say something good happened. You know, I was prepared. I thought about it and I planned it out, and I'm smart and I'm talented and I'm capable and I made stuff happen. And if something doesn't happen right, I'm just going to say, you know, I didn't prepare enough. I didn't do what I needed to do. I wasn't ready. And how can I fix it for next time? Fate only has so much power. There's a whole other side of life that is totally controllable. And we have to meet fate or God halfway. We cannot study for a C and pray for an A. And then be like, well, I got a C. I guess it was meant to be. No. You can be somewhere at the right place at the right time, but only if you're prepared. It only works if you're prepared. You know, you can, man, that's crazy. Luck doesn't happen without preparedness. So in conclusion, locus of control determines how you view your successes and failures. If you have an external locus of control, you attribute your success and failures to things outside of your control, meaning external factors, i.e. environment, God, luck, fate, circumstance. But if you have an internal locus of control, you attribute a lot of your success and failures to yourself. You take responsibility for your failures, but you also can boast in your successes because you know that you came fully prepared. So I have a test. I found a test online that shows what locus of control you have, internal versus external. Take the test, see where you are. And I would suggest, I would say that we should all strive to have an internal locus of control because, like I said, they live better. They live better because they have corrective action. When something goes wrong and they fail at something, since they take responsibility, they also take the responsibility of corrective action to fix it for next time. So next time you can't say it was just luck because it's like, I did this last time, I messed up here, here, and here. So moving forward, I'm gonna fix it. And that's how they're more successful. So take the test, see where you fare, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.